Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new series all about making video games with the Microsoft Visual C# stuff. So we're going to start out making a couple different kind of video games. So the first one we're going to make is something sort of kind of like BONG! Oh, I'm losing! Oh no, that's not good. Okay, so I'll just finish this round and then show you guys how to get this program, because it's actually surprisingly hard to find. Anyway, see you later. Alrighty, so this here is the main website where you're gonna get really any of these will work, except maybe that one. I don't know if C++ will work exactly the same, but really any of these will work. I'm using the C# version. There's also newer 2012 versions, although they're really weird, and I really don't think they're the same thing. I don't know if they're interchangeable. Also, all these ones up here in purple, they may be able to do more stuff, but they're expensive. So, if you don't know which one to get, I recommend this one. Also, to make video games, these don't inherently come with the framework we're going to need. So you're going to need to come over to this place, not quite as pretty looking, and just download XNA. Newest one as of making this is 4.0 and whatnot, and just download both of these. They're both free, so nothing to lose. I will put links to both of these down in the description. But now let's get on to making some games! Yay, game makings! Alright, see you guys in a second or so. Bye. Okay, so when you first open up your Visual C# stuff, you'll get this rather boring, close to useless screen. But what we're really wanting to do up here is to open a new project, and you'll get these if you have the Game Studio. If you don't have XNA, you'll only get these top 6 of them, which they aren't useless, but they don't do much. So, but the Game Studio lets you make a Windows game and a 360 game and whatever a content pipeline is. I don't know. We are going to make a Windows game. We are going to name it Pong. And I want this to be, whoa, location not available. What are you talking about? Okay, so I want to put this in GitHub so all you guys could play around with it. So we are going to make a folder in Pong for GitHub, and then select that folder, and then the solution name, it's the name of one of the few files. It's not really important. You can change it if you want, but it'll get confusing. So I recommend just keeping it the same as the overall name. Then we press OK, and in a couple seconds we get this! Ow, my neck! Popped. So we get this with all this stuff. It kinda looks like we don't need to do anything at all, but unfortunately the work's not totally done. So this is gonna take a minute or so, a few episodes. So I'm thinking for this first episode we'll just make some sprites. So to do some sprites you're gonna need a couple variables, which you want to make sure you put all your variables under this public class game1 thingy, but don't put them under this. This is for other special stuff that we'll get to in a second. But down here you're going to want to put stuff like, let's see, for your sprites you're going to need a texture 2D to be specific. The texture 3D is for 3D models and stuff. It's a lot more complicated to make 3D games. Maybe we'll get into it later, but and the episodes would be like hours long. So anyway, so just type in name of your sprite and then a texture, and you'll get this Stickman1 texture. You could actually name that really anything you want, but consistency makes coding much better. Then just put a comma between all your other Stickman textures and stuff. Actually, all your textures. Texture. Did I spell that right? I did not spell that right. I didn't even get close to spelling that right. I guess it wasn't that far off. And a comma, and then a ball texture, and then end it with a semicolon. And then you're gonna have to do the same thing down here with rectangles. So then Stickman1 rectangle, angle, rectangle, and Stickman2 rectangle, and the ball rectangle, and all that other rectangle. Angle. So you guys may have noticed that I am using a different way of naming all my variables, because instead of putting a little underscore here, I'm just putting that a capital letter. That's just because this is what's standard in this particular IDE, the Microsoft Visual. It doesn't really matter. Not really. It doesn't matter at all, actually. It's just the standard, and I see no reason to break standards. So I guess while we're here, may as well go over the other kinds of variables. So one, we've got the integers. Just type in int. These are any number between 0 and some crazy like 2 million something or another, that but they can only be positive and they can't have any decimal points. So like 1, 2, 3, and then so on and so forth, but no 1.5 or nothing like that. We're gonna need, may as well type in other ones. Let's see, Stickman speed. Gonna need a speed to know how fast their stickmans are going, and we're also gonna need a ball speed. Those are the only ones I can really think of right now. Oh, we're gonna need a couple more. I'll just type in those couple more and then meet you back here in a second or two. So I'll see you once I'm done typing those. Alrighty, so I'm back. I just finished typing in all these. We got some ints for our speed, and then these are the placement of our sprites and stuff, and this is going to be the height and the width of everything. Should also mention that with ints, if you type them just like this, they don't really have any value yet. But up here we can, for instance, with the speeds, this is helpful, just put equals and then a number, and it will instantly, like as soon as the game renders, it equals that number, which is pretty nice. Another one we're gonna need is the Boolean variables. This is literally true or false. It's just one or the other. 0, 1. Nothing in between. So we're going to use these to define the movement of the ball. So ball move up, and we're going to make that equal false to start out with. And then ball move right equals true to start out with. That would be all the variables we really need. But we do need to set something up in here. So keep these are very necessary, just in the middle of them, or really anywhere in this area. We're gonna need to type in graphics dot preferred, what's it called, referred background. buffer height, and then I'm gonna make this 600, and then graphics dot preferred back buffer width equals 800. So what these two are going to do is when we open up our game to debug it and play the thing, these are going to tell it how big the window has to be. So the window it's going to open in is going to be 800 pixels wide and 600 pixels tall. We'll see that in a second. Then down here, add your initialization logic. Oh yes, this you don't really gotta do much, but something you do want to do is this dot is mouse visible equals true. That just lets you use the mouse later on. But load content. This is where all the fancy stuff comes in. So down here is where we're going to put a value on all our stuff, like the textures and the integers we just wrote. So let's start that with the texture. Stick man 1 texture. There we go, texture equals this dot content dot load, and then put this little funny bracket thingy here and put in texture 2D, and then a parenthesis and quotation mark. But there's a problem here. We don't have any textures. Wow, that's not good. So what we gotta do is go into this little thing, your Explorer, and in here we've got a file for pictures, and try to keep all your pictures PNG if you can. This seems to be what this prefers best for picture files. And then just click and drag all your pictures and drop them on this Pong content thing. You might want to do this. I'll do the same thing for sound since we're here already. Wog. There we go. Now we have stuff to put in here. Now we can give our texture a texture. So Stickman1's gonna be Stickman1. Yep, asset name Stickman1. Gotta make sure that this matches with what you're gonna type in here. So Stickman1. And then semicolon. Gotta always have semicolon. Now we're gonna, just like always, we're gonna copy and paste. And then Stickman2. And do the same thing for the ball texture. We're so much fun. So much fun. Ball. This should do it for textures. Now we get to define our widths. So let's put a comment there. So define all our textures. Textures. Blech. I'll fix it later. Yeah, it's really easy to forget, but trust me, get everything commented. Everything. It's so easy if you have to like debug it later on. Of our sprites. Alrighty, so now we get to define what stickman width is. So stickman width equals stickman1 texture dot width. That's not too hard. And then semicolon, and now we get to copy and paste and paste and paste, and now stickman2 and stickman2, and then the ball. texture and the ball width are the same thing. Now we do the same thing with the heights. Woo! So much fun. Height and to height. 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 I'm doing height again. And ball height. Da 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 do 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 do. Height. And then the stickman 2 and then the ball. Well, wait, there's more. We get, because now we know what the width is, but the game doesn't know what to do with this width. So now we get to combine rectangles with textures. And this is what will tell the game where to put the textures and in what, instead of like just having them randomly sprawl everywhere. So basically we're gonna make a box and we're gonna put the texture inside a box, like a frame almost. So now it's gonna be something like stickman1 rectangle equals new rectangle new no, I want new N-E-W. Thank you. New rectangle. And then the first thing we're going to put in here is the placement of the rectangle on the x-axis. That is going to be our stickman1x. And then we're going to do the same thing for the y-axis, stickman1y. And these two together are going to define where the box is, but not how big it is. So now our next thing, we're going to define the width, so stickman1 width. And that's how wide this box is going to be. And then how tall, stickman1 height. And that's how tall this box is going to be, and we have just finished making a box to put our picture in. And that's really all of it for loading a picture. So since that took a minute, I'll take a quick break and write down the other ones, and then we'll go into drawing these pictures. The last thing we gotta do. See you in a second. Alrighty, so I just finished typing all these in, but there's a problem here. If we press our little button to F5 to see what our game looks like once it loads, I didn't get to fix this yet. Yeah, if you don't have fancy graphics cards, you gotta go playing around with stuff. Let's see, I totally forgot where to go for this. I'll just pause again till I find it, and I'll see you guys in a second. I'm stupid. Alright, so I found it. Go up to the project. See, this is Pong properties. I think that's going to change depending on the name of your thing. But here, in this XNA game studio, use high def access. Well, my wimpy computer can't do high def access, so we're going to use reach access. And make sure you save that. That's important. So now, where was that? Oh yeah, when we start to debug our thing, short of the graphics card failing, it's not showing us any of the fancy rectangles we just made. Oh, that work. So the game knows that these pictures are here, but it doesn't know to draw them. So what we're going to do, unload content. Yeah, so here you had all logic and stuff, but down here, this is where we're going to have to do stuff. So we can get rid of this, because we don't need that. But we are going to now need to do a sprite batch. So let's start off by sprite batch dot begin, and this is going to tell the game to start drawing sprites. Just start drawing sprites. Now let's put that in a comment. Start drawing sprites. This is important. You need to start drawing sprites if you ever want to see your sprites. Otherwise, you're never going to get to see your sprites. And also, since I always forget to put this thing in here, make sure you end it off with a sprite batch.end. Because if you don't, the game gets really mad at you. Like wants to rip your head off kind of mad at you. And it's not fun. It's not fun at all. But what we're gonna do here is we got to do a sprite batch, another sprite batch, lots of sprite batch dot draw, and then just do your rectangle and stuffity stuff. So parentheses, and let's draw the stick man. So stick man. First we're gonna do the stick man texture. Stickman 2 texture. Sure, Stickman 2 texture. And then Stickman 2 rectangle. And then it's kind of weird. I don't know why this has to be done, but put in color dot white. I have no clue why you have to put in color dot white, but if you don't, it errors. So just make sure you do it, because otherwise, it's gonna yell at you, and you don't want your game yelling at you. It's just not fun. That's not fun at all. Alrighty. So now what should happen is when we press this, whoa, what errors? Ball rectangle does not exist in current context. Hold on a minute. I don't like that. Let's see, yeah, we made a ball rectangle. Did we call our ball rectangle? Jeez. That should fix it. What? What are you talking about? Did rectangle, did I not RECTA and grrr. That fixed it there. Fixed it. But now we get sprites that are kind of odd placed and grossly out of proportion. Wow, that's a problem. So let's start off by putting, oh, wrong button. Gotta make sure you close that, not minimize. Does weird stuff if you don't close it. So let's start off by putting our sprites in a spot. So place of our sprites, stickman2 y equals save. Because I don't know if this is gonna fail or not. No, wait, because we called this already. So I guess we got to go down to here to protect, override, void, game time. This is where we add logic. So I'll just keep that one. So let's do down here stickman2y equals, then graphics device dot viewport dot width. That's what we called when we were doing this stuff up here. Graphics device viewport dot width. And then we can do minus a, what's it called, stickman2 width, and that should put our stickman2 further over. You know what, let's resize these first. So you can either resize them in a picture thing, or you can go in here and do fanciness. So stickman width, let's divide that by 2, and stickman 2, divide by 2, just divide them by 2. Dividing by 2. What this is going to do is it's going to effectively halve the size of all your sprites. See? Although this one's still about twice as big as we want it. I hit the wrong button again. Grr. Stickman 2? Is that Stickman 2? I'm just gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that's Stickman 2. Hey, it's Stickman 2. Alrighty, so now we have all our sprites drawn and not in the right place. But we are running out of time. So that's about it. Next time we're gonna add our logic and whatnot to make the game actually play like game. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. Alrighty, so I'll see you guys later. Bye. My voice sounds weird again. Bye. Bye.